12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBA and the IBO Super Welterweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first, the challenger fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring wearing black trunks with white trim, joining us from Stoneham, Massachusetts. He weighed in at a ready 152 1/2 pounds. With a record of 22 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, he has 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the determined challenger, the world-ranked super welterweight contender, introducing Greg, the Villain Vendetti. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with red and white trim. He is fighting out of Miami, Florida, by way of Guantanamo, Cuba. He weighed in at 153 pounds. His record stands at 26 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws, with 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the first defense in his second reign as world champion, here is the defending 2-time WBA and the IBO Super Welterweight Champion of the World, introducing Erislandy, the American Dream, Lara. And our third man to the ring, the referee now to give instructions. We have Jerry Cantu.
Your trunks are a little high, so right here it's going to be illegal. Tu pantalón está un poco alto, quizás es legal. You've been giving your instructions in the dressing, giving a good, clean, hard fight. Estás recibiendo sus instrucciones en el camerino. Toca los guantes, good luck.
Tonight's odds are provided by Fox Bet, and Erislandy Lara is a big favorite. If you bet $100 on Lara, you'd win $2. Pay out $102. You bet $100 on Vendetti, you would win $1,400 with the payout of $1,500. So the powers that be, the intelligentsia, not believing that Vendetti will be a successful villain here tonight. First round underway, our main event. Greg Vendetti stepping up in class, taking on the longtime champion and contender, Erislandy Lara, and immediately able to find a home with that left hand. Lennox, what are you looking for early here for Vendetti to survive in this fight?
Well, you know, Vendetti's looking for a way in right now. He's trying to check out Lara and see what he can do and how he can get to him. He wants to get a little closer to him, obviously, because, you know, he can't stay on the outside because he's shorter. So he's trying to get in a little closer and see if he can get to Lara's body.
Vendetti telling us, hey, look, I think it's perfect timing. My age, my experience level, he's a bit on the decline. He thinks the timing is right, but Joe Goosen, you know, like when you step up in class, sometimes the man you're facing is doing things you don't even quite understand, and I don't know how wide that gap is, though.
You can absolutely possibly, that's a perfect way to put it, Brian. A great way to put it, because Lara's got more tricks in his bag than, you know, Vendetti's ever seen before, and he's going to probably use some of them tonight on him. But, you know, look, I mean, Vendetti's doing the right thing right now. He's got a tight package going. He's got his arms in tight. He's got his chin down low, and hopefully those punches are bouncing off his glove and not off his chin, and maybe he'll be able to get close enough to sneak something in on him. But look at Lara. He's just going to push you down, turn you. He'll probably do that most of the night until he softens up Vendetti, if Vendetti can't get in and do some damage.
Lara already able to land some shots as well, finding in there. And Vendetti, you're right, that's the way of putting it, tight package. He does have a very tight hook and a strong hook as well, but will he be able to close the gap? You can see Lara is able to, you know, get in the pocket pretty quickly and find him there, even with that uppercut right to the head of Vendetti.
Yeah, and we talked about in the fighter meetings with Vendetti about the uppercut that was assuredly going to come from Lara, and he goes, that's where I really worked on keeping my elbows in and closing up my guard, you know, so he can't slide it up the middle. But, you know, if you do that, Lara will just go around it and hit your body there and open you up. So he's got a million things, a million ways to get you. And let's see if Vendetti can get in there and at least score something and, you know, get the respect of Lara somehow.
Tries with the right hand and bulldozes in.
And I say 2 steps back, okay?
Getting a warning there from Jerry Cantu. Very good referee.
Great referee.
Opening action here in round number 1. Vendetti, by the way, had won 16 in a row before his last big step up in class against Michel Soro in Paris. That was in 2018, and was actually, fighting quite well in the first round, but then got caught with a string of right hands and got starched in the second round. Here, good left hand from Lara. We're going to stay right here. Vendetti has been with Joe Ricciardi, his trainer there, from the outset, so there's a real relationship there. But early on, Erislandy, Lara, you talk about Joe Goose and the bag of tricks, able to land early and come up with some things that Vendetti just hasn't seen.
Well, he slipped right into where the left hand is just going to cut across and down. See, southpaws live off of that. If you make that move to your left as a right-hander in front of them, they're just going to shoot that straight left hand right down on you all the time. Sometimes you go the opposite way of what a left-hander thinks you should do. In other words, don't always move to your left. Move to your right sometimes. That confuses a southpaw. So let's see if he does what Joe asked him to do, and that's get around him. Which way he chooses, I don't know, but it's a smart move. Don't stay in front of him and just make slips. Try to get around him. Try to pivot and see what comes of it.
Joe, that's good insight too, because you've trained a lot of southpaws, so you know.
Yeah, it's look, they spar. Southpaws spar with right-handers every day. Right-handers rarely ever spar with southpaws. They know your every move. So sometimes you got to go against the grain, what is taught, and say, well, you got to move to this side on a southpaw. Move the opposite side. They're not used to it. Sometimes you can throw the rhythm off.
And early on here, Lennox Lewis, you just see there seems to be a championship calm with Lara. Don't you think? Ooh, in there. Nice little hook there by Vendetti.
Yeah, absolutely. He's taking his time. He's a counterpuncher, so he doesn't really have to do too much. Vendetti has to do the work. He has to get in. He has to get in and do the work. Lara can sit back and wait for Vendetti because, Vendetti has to come forward.
And just as I saw that, a little success for Vendetti. And then he also, Joe, had a lead right hand that had some success. Let's watch once again. So you're going to have to make it a brawl.
See, what Lara did there, he was pushing down on Vendetti, and he had his arms extended, and he was going to pivot out. But Vendetti just came right over the top with that left hook. And this is a punch shot. Yeah. And that's the punch that Lara does get hit with that puts him in jeopardy.
And plus, he was looking at the referee at that time. And, in boxing, you got to protect yourself at all times.
Well, Vendetti's going to have to make this rough, right, Joe? I mean, we're kind of seeing that already. He's got to make this a fight.
Just the way Castano did it, same thing. And by waiting out there, see, he shouldn't be waiting right now. You got to make some quick head movements, footwork, like his trainer told him, be light on your feet. You can't plant yourself in front of a guy like Lara. So you got to be in constant, perpetual motion and just keep trying to grind on him. Right there, see? And something will come of it. Yeah, Lara threw a hook, but Vendetti got a right hand off of it.
Vendetti there with some body shots there with the right hand. Again, he's going to have to make this more of a brawl, and he knew that. He said, look, I'm going to have to double up, triple up on the jab. I can't wait for a receipt. I can't stand there in front of this guy. So he's going to have to be perpetual motion and force Lara to fight.
Lara's going to, hopefully Lara's corner talks to him and tell him to, go with that uppercut, that left uppercut, because he's been great with it so far and very accurate with it.
Vendetti trying to close this gap, fighting a little bit closer. Through 2 rounds, Vendetti, mostly psychological. Joe Goosen, your thoughts on Greg Vendetti so far?
Well, look, Vendetti came here to win. You can tell he's not here to collect the paycheck or to lay down any of that. He came here to win. I mean, his body looks in great shape. He had plenty of time to train for this fight. It's his big opportunity. He's got a lot of fights under his belt. This is his time to try to take advantage of one of the great fighters of all time, a world champion, and prove himself. Look, he's here to win this fight, and he's going to try hard tonight.
That's true, Joe. You have to make you make your name off of great fighters. This is what Vendetti wants to do. He wants to come in here and make his name off of Lara, and he's doing a great attempt at doing it right now.
Great point, guys, because look, here's Vendetti again springing in, and he knows he's got to put himself in uncomfortable situations, because that's no man's land when you get in there, and you've got to close that gap and get on the inside, but you can get punished on the way in.
You can, but just like that one, that last rush he put on Lara. Look, Lara did the same thing he did that got him caught with that left hook in the first round, which was